Hey traders, this is Taylor with Top Pick Trading. Back again as always and looking for a higher low here. You can see we've had this huge uptrend, this golden uptrend. We finally got this somewhat strong move down. You can see clearly 2 legs down, break, new low. Failed break lower. And now we've pushed back up into this turquoise range, pushed above the EMA. So now I'd like to push down into the EMA, which looks like it's what we're doing, and close right around the EMA and the lower support level. And then that'd be hopefully the setup bar. And then the signal bar I want to turn, have some wick, and reject off the EMA and the lower support level. And this is a pretty typical setup. This happens pretty often, especially when you trade up into these little ranges like this. You get failed break lowers. Those end up being important lows. And then sometimes you'll get failures or higher lows back inside that range. So that's what we're hoping for here. Especially after the failed break lower, you see the strength of those 3 bullish bars in a row. So there's definitely still some upside in my opinion. Very likely. Market's really slow today. This is one of the slowest I remember it, really. It's consistently moving. We're getting some decent setups, but it's just very slow. So this may be a long video. For some reason, when I place buy limit or stop limit orders, sometimes they're yellow and they don't always fill properly. So I have to just click it over and over until I can get a purple one, the purple variant, to show up. If anybody knows why that happens, leave a comment and let me know. It's a little frustrating. It's only with these stop limit orders. All right, now we have a little bit of a lower tail. This is looking really nice. We're pushing up now. Hope it doesn't form too high in the swing. Make it a little more difficult to take if it's way up there. And ideally, you really want to gap above the EMA before you come back and test it, but this market's so strong that I think this is still going to be good enough if we can get a good bar. Yeah, and this is kind of one of those days where the uptrend is not all that clear. It's just like many variations of it work, and many different spiking channels work. This golden one I've got fits pretty well. But the main thing to know is to play your local stuff, the EMA, and your small little ranges, and just don't sell. Prices are going higher, and you just want to look for good reasons to get long. So that's what we're doing here. So yeah, this is a decent. If this closes well, it'd be a Top Gun setup pretty much. The setup bar closes very close to its low. We trade a little lower, get a decent amount of wick, and now we push higher, closing above that support level, and at the moment, the EMA as well. So let's see how this finishes. Looks like it may close right on its high. And no, it closes one off its high, but that's still good enough for me. It looks really good, this setup. And if you go back and watch a lot of my trades, you'll notice I really like this kind of setup. This is a pretty often, or I take this type of setup pretty often. So usually when you get these trades in a big uptrend, that'll really send it higher. It's more of a confirmation setup of the failed break lower, but at the very least, you'll usually get at least at the other side of the range. So the trade hasn't triggered yet, but I will keep it here if it's able to trigger on this bar, hopefully. Really would rather see it just immediately push through and push higher. That really confirms the momentum on our side, but the way this closed, I'm going to keep my order here. Expecting push to the other side of the range, or at least of this small move here. The 3 bullish bars. Yeah, and just to show you how slow the market is today, I mean, I started this video basically, I think, when the setup bar started forming, and it's already been 6.5 minutes, and the trade still hasn't even triggered. Well, right as I say that, we are finally in this. You can see it pushed through that stop limit order, and luckily it converted to the limit, and we were able to get filled. And the range highs aren't so clear on this. Maybe it's there. And now I really like the way this entry bar closed. Very, very bullish. After bears try to take it lower one more time. Looks like this trend looks pretty valid. And there's our measured move. It's really bullish today, but the ATR is just so low. I think I'm going to reduce it to 3.5 just to get out a little bit more before that high. And there's a good chance this thing runs really high, but it's just moving so slow, and each bar that prints is a lot smaller than what's typical. Yeah, we're pretty much at the range measured move, or I'm sorry, the measured move of the little micro move up. And this is the first break of this golden uptrend, so I do expect it will at least retest that high of the day. But like I mentioned, this is one of those days where there's like many variations of the uptrends that work, so we could push a lot higher. There could be a bigger channel at play that just isn't immediately obvious at the moment. Yeah, range highs are really unclear here. We're closing in on that target. Trying to think if there's anything else I haven't mentioned. Not that I can think of. It's the type of day where until you're there we go, we do get out on the scalp. Until you're just consistently creating new pivot points to the low side, the uptrend is probably not over. Your major pivot points, if they still hold, then you got to really be careful that the trend's actually over if you're looking to short. And in this case, we're able to break some of these minor pivot points, like breaking below this range, for example. But you can see, I mean, it didn't last long before we pushed right back up into it and tested the pivot point from the support side, and it held again. So just be wary of that, and don't think you've found the top, and don't pick tops. So don't be a top picker. So I'm gonna let this run around. I'm gonna cut the mic, and we'll come back after we hit our target or get stopped out. So thanks. Hey, I'm back, and you see our runner got hit there for around 3 points. So, oh well, didn't get a big one, but hope you guys enjoyed this higher low back inside the range. Thanks, and have a good one.